everyone, and welcome back to It's Happening live at the Rose Hill campus of Fordham University. I'm Emma, and as usual, I'm joined tonight by Frannie, Victoria, and Casey. We have a lot to discuss today. As you know on this show, we always discuss the top 5 things that are happening in college life. And between the pandemic still going on and being a threat to campus life, and also midterms coming up, there's a lot to discuss this week. Speaking of midterms, I know this is only top 5, but I feel like the midterms hit the top 6 level priority.
Yeah.
How are all of your virtual midterms going?
Not good. I was calling my dad this week and I told him I had a midterm on an audiobook, and I believe his comment was, "That's what we're paying $70,000 a year for." In a joking manner, of course, but still a little goofy.
I'm so sorry to hear about that, Frannie. I wrapped last week and I'm so glad about it, and now I can just focus on getting through the rest of this virtual semester.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough, but I don't know. But now that we've gotten over that number 6 candidate, we have to get straight into the top 5 things in college life. Frannie, what is number 5 this week?
Okay, so number 5 this week is a little nutty, as some might say. We're talking about the black and brown squirrels on campus and the little bit of the turf war that they're having. Emma, what was the interaction you were having with them today on Eddie's? Was it a little crazy?
You know, Frannie, it was not comfortable. I think the squirrels have gotten a little too used to being on campus by themselves, because I was sitting with my sandwich on Eddie's, just relaxing with my friend, and a squirrel came within this close of me, not 6 foot distance for sure, and was trying to steal my sandwich. So I don't know what's up with the squirrels, between the turf wars and the social distancing that they are failing at. I don't know. Casey, didn't you have a weird interaction with a squirrel?
Yeah, I did. I was having a picnic with a group of my friends and the same exact thing happened. I'm just sitting on the bench trying to mind my own business, and everybody is like paying attention to all these squirrels that are coming up to our table. So it's been crazy.
I personally don't have any squirrel stories, because at Lincoln Center we do not have animals as feisty as you have here. But I can say that recently I watched a cat chase a public safety worker out of their booth. The cat ran in, the public safety employee ran out, and then when he saw everything was clear, he went back in.
That might hit top 5 next week, honestly. I want to hear more about
Maybe.
that.
Let's hope for a sequel.
So
Right, Casey, number 4, what is it?
So number 4 this week is going to be on our favorite app, TikTok, and basically what we're seeing is there are a lot of different NYU students and Fordham students posting their meals for quarantine. Needless to say, it's been interesting in quarantine trying to figure out how schools are going to provide food for the students. So that's been pretty crazy. Have you had any experiences with that?
So personally, I'm lucky enough to not have to have had quarantine, but I do know that some Lincoln Center students also were posting their quarantine meals on TikTok. And, well, it's the same provider as Rose Hill. It's also Aramark, so I think that the meals were the same, although we do have some better options for delivery around Lincoln Center, so maybe a little bit better.
they do say the real dollars are in Lincoln Center.
Okay, so I think this is a good way to move on to our number 3 top happening, which is the ongoing controversy with the Instagram meme page LC Sinners. It was founded back in July as a meme page, but it's as Corona's been going on, it has pivoted to kind of giving us a lot of political insight on the Lincoln Center and also on the Rose Hill campus, surprisingly. So it used to be just memes, but now it's focused a lot on actually kind of exposing students for not obeying Fordham's protocols.
Yeah, for being called LC Sinners, Victoria, I've noticed too much Rose Hill content for that username to be true. Maybe they just want to switch their name to like Rose Hill Exposers. I don't know. Something to consider. Maybe I'll DM them later.
And if we do think back to when LC Sinners first started, it really started attacking students back when orientation came on campus. And I don't know about you guys, but I was an orientation leader, and they attacked us very brutally, saying we were attending parties, we were not wearing masks on campus, which was all very untrue. But LC Sinners is really definitely coming at people for not obeying by guidelines. But I don't know. Casey, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. There's been a lot of controversy about the posts that have been that have been uploaded on that site, I think a lot of like what you were saying is true. There are not a lot of accurate facts that are being posted about that, and it's just a really unfortunate situation overall.
Yeah, and you wouldn't really expect it to be because it is someone from, or a group of people, a team working on the Lincoln Center campus, talking about how they perceive things going on at Rose Hill, and that can be a little unfair. So I hate to trash on my own, but I think
As our Lincoln Center correspondent, thank you for doing it.
They actually put up a poll this week saying, should we shut down? What do you think? So
we voted
go
yes.
on, answer.
I voted yes.
I also voted yes. We'll see what the public really thinks, though. Speaking of kind of calling people out on social distancing guidelines, one particular place has not been socially distancing, and that leads us to our number 2 event of college life this week, and that is the reopening of Barnyard Barbecue. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about Barnyard Barbecue, but I passed there on Saturday night, and no social distancing, no masks going on, and it was pretty upsetting. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
We did.
Yep.
And if you didn't, you can also see it on LC Center.
There you go.
So
Now we're
it's up
promoting.
there. No, it's crazy. I didn't think Barnyard was the safest place to be in the first place. It's definitely not safe now with the COVID situation.
No, I think it's pretty sad that the owner and proprietor of Barnyard has started to value his own monetary well-being over that of the actual community that he's trying to serve.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good force in our school year this year.
Also reflects an ongoing trend of students here putting the local community at risk,
Right.
essentially. It's very upsetting.
And it's stuff like that that we can't go back to normal, which is a real bummer, because who knows when it will be normal back on campus again.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, speaking of normality, it appears that our number 1 topic this week is going to be the restructuring of the spring calendar. It broke my heart as a senior. No spring break. What are you guys' thoughts on the matter?
I mean, I think this is really devastating for all the seniors, especially. We're not going to be able to have that same experience that everybody else has been talking about forever. You know, senior year, spring semester, it's supposed to be the most fun, apparently. So I think that's really sad, but we'll persevere, I'm sure.
We've learned how to adapt pretty well over the past year, so we'll definitely continue to.
Absolutely.
And seeing how it's happening at other schools too, it's not just Fordham. I feel like this is such a prevalent thing happening in college life, and so many schools are having to succumb to changing the schedule up and figuring out how spring break's going to go. So it really is, it's too bad that is our number 1 this week.
Yeah. Hate to end on a bleak note, but that's all the time we have. So tune in next time when we count to what's happening, when we count down the top 5 things happening on campus next week. Thanks for joining us.